Terry are not going to do that. You and Terry are not going to be like, hey, man. Like, you guys are very much no kissing and telling. I'm like, I'm trying to tell you everything.
Well, but it's different with guys. If there is a kissing and telling, it's the attempt for one guy to one up the other one. Like, man, she can suck the chrome off a trailer hitch. You know.
It's the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Alley.
Guess what's in my cabinet?
Well, we're going to be going from your cabinet to your nightstand in this podcast, so go ahead.
This is the weirdest thing. You have to tell me if you have something weirder or if you've had something as weird. Well, we're coming up to hunting season.
You have a deer head in your cabinet.
No.
Damn. That would have been awesome.
More weird and gross.
Oh.
And because we're coming up to hunting season, you have all these things that you like buy and prepare ahead of time. And my significant other is a hunter. We have coyote piss.
Oh, what does that do besides smell?
Apparently, and it stinks so bad.
Do you have a lid on this?
Well, yeah, but Zach, I didn't know, and so he has this little bottle, and he uncaps it the other day, and he goes, smell this. And of course, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh. So I put my nose to it. I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, welcome to the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast, where Alley has coyote piss in her cupboard.
It's in a kitchen cupboard.
Now, there are so many questions. Who's the unlucky son of a bitch that has to go collect the coyote piss?
Right.
And how does that go for you?
Right, exactly. So what the point is, I believe, is to take these droplets. It almost looks like contact solution. Can you imagine if you
don't put that in your eye?
Right, if you accidentally put this pee-pee in your eye.
Oh, God.
And
you'd be cockeyed. Sorry. Stupid.
And so I believe what he does is like droplets are supposed to go wherever you're hunting, and that lures them to it.
Why
which
would
is
that
funny.
lure to them? They're the predator of the deer. This makes no sense to me because I mean, if he'd like fin piss in your cupboard, all you have to do is come to my house and not be one of the people that live in the house, and Finn will get all like 6 months old that he is of a puppy. He loves to, jump up with his hands up like he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you. And all you'd have to do is put a little baby bottle under there and I could get you some fin piss.
So maybe that's how they collect it. I always wanted to know.
Oh yeah, you've seen a happy coyote before? No.
But as a baby?
Well, I don't know.
It's kind of like Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon.
Is that? Oh boy.
Well, not anymore. But too soon.
No, yeah, very much, very much. We actually like them, and they're friends of us.
I do. Oh. But maybe that's how it goes. Is they have a baby coyote who's super cute and gets excited to see said caretaker.
Now, would you think here come more questions? Is there a difference between baby coyote piss and, say, I don't know, elderly coyote piss?
I don't know. Let me Google it. Okay, hold on a second. Is there a difference?
Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've heard that there's some sort of powdered blood you can get to keep rabbits out of your garden. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, this is an old-timey thing. There's supposedly you can spread around some sort of, like you can get it at a nursery or something like that. Maybe they don't even do it anymore. I don't remember what kind of blood it is, but it's like powdered out. And you just put it around and it keeps the rabbits out. I swear this is it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now I have to Google this. What kind of powdered? Boy, the people at corporate, when they look at our search results.
Well, that's funny because as I was trying to search what the difference was between baby coyote pee and adult coyote pee, what came up was,
thank God you used your phone for that.
Was the different kinds of pee to keep unwanted animals out of your garden. Isn't that funny?
Well, listen to this. Many people don't know this, according to the Google. So, it's the internet. It's got to be right. So says Abraham Lincoln. Many people don't know about the benefits of blood meal fertilizer. This type of fertilizer is made from animal blood, and it is a great source of nitrogen for plants. Using blood meal in your garden can help improve soil quality and boost plant growth. I swear, though, that I thought it was supposed to keep rabbits out of the garden. Now, that would make sense because you don't want them eating your tomatoes.
Wait, hold on a second. What's it called? Blood meal?
Blood meal.
Okay. Does blood meal, and then we're coming back to pee. Does blood meal repel rabbits?
Now I'm adding that to the search.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. It says, yes, blood meal can repel rabbits because of its smell, which is associated with predators.
How did I? There it was. That is a memory of something I swear my father told me 40 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure. I was just watching that Martha Stewart documentary, and her dad was the big gardener. That's why she is so into gardening. Oh, she is, by the way, very stern on upkeep of her garden. But that's here or there. Back to the pee thing, though.
Yes.
So when it comes to pee, there are many peas that will deter animals from your garden. That's not why we have coyote pee, though.
No, but the coyote pee, to get a deer to come near you, it just doesn't sound right, because maybe it's to keep other coyotes away. No, that can't be, because what happens when a dog's on a walk? It's always going to piss on a fire hydrant because other dogs have peed on the fire hydrant. You don't want the coyotes coming to you.
Coyote urine, they say, the Pee Man, according to the Pee Man, that's his nickname.
Well, you get that title in life, you've made it.
The Pee Man says coyote urine will deter rats, deer.
It'll deter.
I don't know why we have it then. I don't know.
Unless he spreads. Okay, maybe
I was wrong. I thought that.
No, you may not be wrong. Hear me out. Maybe part of the reason he's gone all day. Boy, this from the non-hunter ever in the group. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe what he does is he goes way out and spreads some of the coyote pee around areas to drive the deer more towards where he's going to be. Like maybe he'll drive, I don't know, 2 miles to the other side of the field. Spread some of the coyote pee out.
Yeah.
Okay. Keeps the coyotes over there because they'll piss on their brother's pee.
Yeah.
And the deer start migrating in towards where he's going to be.
Maybe.
Now that would make sense.
Aren't you so glad you were talking about, dogs peeing on other dog pee. Aren't you glad this is not how we are attracting each other? Like, hey, come smell my pee.
Ellie, if I had to if every morning coming into the studio I had to smell your ass and do a dance around you, it would be dangerous.
But I do have something. Oh my gosh. Just imagine living with me. I do have something though.
We hear pieces of it on the show. People must wonder.
Zach, he is so grossed out by it. But if I come home from the gym, he's like, oh my gosh, like just shower. He's such a clean freak.
Okay.
If 6059 goes to the gym, and I saw this TikTok about this week. If she goes to the gym, do you like her smell or not? If she's been sweating, she's been working in the garden, spreading that coyote pee around, whatever she's doing. Maybe she went for a brisk walk on a...
Well, sure, but everybody gets to a point where it crosses from I like your smell to you gotta shower.
Yeah, but like the little, how it's like a little... I don't know. It's a little rank.
I think it's a difference between a little bit, like, which is... I just haven't quite. I was doing something. We were cleaning something up or whatever. That is different from a full workout sweat out. The full workout sweat out, that might even be a bit much.
The TikTok I saw
for anybody anywhere
was the guy was saying how much he loved it. He's like, oh, when she comes home from the gym, it's a little salty, little sweet. That's what he said. Little salty, little sweet.
Yeah, no, that's I'd prefer that was cleaned up.
So speaking of,
well, not that, but you know what I mean. Well, yes, that too, but
that is so you. That is absolutely who you are as a person.
Yeah, it's gotta. I mean, I don't mind okay, you and I've done events on hot days, and we've been out to locations where we would be, doing a broadcast, hosting an event, whatever the case may be, and you would naturally sweat.
Yeah.
And, but you're not exerting yourself, attempting to sweat it out, if you will, like you're at the gym.
I think that sneaky butt sweat is the worst.
Well, the butt sweat is the worst.
When I'm at an
That's
event,
a different smell from the pit smell. And I'm not saying the pit smell, if you've been sweating it out at the gym, is attractive. What I'm saying is, if you're out, it's a hot day, you've been sweating a little bit, maybe not overly exerting, that's not bad. It's not. It's different from a workout or a you really need to bathe smell.
Right. Me walking the dogs is way different than
on a 90
me.
degree day. You come back, you got a little. No. That's you don't stank. You might be a little stinky. But,
Right. You're not coyote.
No.
Smelling.
No.
Coming full circle
Coyote
on that.
piss in the cupboard.
All right, back to we said we were going to go from cupboard to nightstand.
Yeah, this was going to come up. We were talking about doing something, and you had said this is going to the podcast, which I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I couldn't allow it on the show.
Nope. And I don't know where we went with this, but this was written somewhere, and I said, oh my gosh.
No, we were talking about, does anybody shop at Spencer's anymore?
Well, it went there.
That's
how we ended up going there, because one of these topics had the Spencer's, the store in there. So recently, I was in a Spencer's. We have one here. I don't remember.
I haven't been to a Spencer's since I was 16.
Isn't that the weirdest thing?
Yeah.
I don't remember. We must have been looking for something. There had to have been a reason we were walking in. Like, was it something for Halloween?
I really needed that marijuana leaf T-shirt and a lava lamp.
Exactly.
I needed a Pokemon poster
And
for my
an alien
bedroom.
head.
And an alien head.
No. What I didn't know, and maybe this is so well known that I'm going to look like the, guy
Naive.
of this. As you walk further back into Spencer's, the more and more risque it gets.
Yes.
And I don't know if the last time you were in Spencer's to be able to see this, I can't tell you the last time I was in Spencer's before we were looking for something, and I don't remember what it was now. Do you know they have vibrators in the back of Spencer's towards the back? You do?
Yes. Because the Spencer's is where I used to always get bachelorette party stuff. And if you remember, I've been in like 27 weddings. I've thrown 27 bachelorette parties.
Right.
So that's exactly where, before Amazon and any other store, you would always go to Spencer's and get the sash and the crown and the suck for a buck shirts.
All those I can see. That makes total sense. I'm talking the actual utility tool.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You can buy them.
Yes.
Now, you'll have to forgive my...
But who is buying a shaky toy from Spencer's? That's like, that you get, my first vibrator comes from Spencer's,
Honestly.
Which is so raunchy and rancid to think about.
Yes.
You have to get one at some point. I mean, it does come before the bachelorette party. You've owned one for quite some time, some way, somehow. That's the weirdest thing. Like, how did I get to that phase where I all of a sudden, I remember. Oh my God.
I can't wait for this.
Okay. So my first one was not, this is a story. My first one was not from Spencer's. Well, maybe it was. I got two stories. Okay. So the first
All
one,
I can do on this, I just want to point this out. All I can do as being a guy on the show who has never bought one, I can only sit back and listen to this and take this in.
You've never even bought one for a partner?
No, I feel that's a tool that should be purchased by the person to know what they want, in my opinion. I need you to test drive the car you want to buy, not just take my word for it.
You could always shop together, though, too.
Oh, okay, that I would do. I mean, but the ultimate choice has to be the person that,
Oh, and I've got some relationship advice for you coming up, but hang on.
Yeah, we got stories first.
So I remember a friend bought me one as a gag gift, and this was I was a freshman in college. I remember that because his name was Chatham, and Chatham bought it for me. I might have told this story before. I was living with my parents my freshman year of college, and I was like, oh, this is funny. And I threw the packaging away, kept the toy. I'm not going to throw it away, threw the packaging away. And all of a sudden I get home from work that day. I think I was waitressing or something. And I get home and my parents are like, we need to talk to you.
Like, and you're a freshman in college.
Right. And I was like, what could I have possibly done? I've been at work, And then I believe it was my mom. I think it was my mom. I don't remember. Anyway, and it was, what is this, young lady?
Oh, the packaging, not the actual tool.
They rooted through the garbage?
No, I mean, I think parents clean out rooms, Sometimes, like, if it's garbage day, you go in and clean it out.
I think I was probably pissing them off so much at that time that they were probably rooting through the garbage on a regular basis.
Oh, I see. I think it's more innocent. I think it was garbage day.
I don't know.
Oh, well, either way.
I got a good laugh out of it, and I tried to tell them. My friend Chatham gave it to me as a gag, which I don't think they appreciated either. Like, why is a guy, which this is a guy I was not with at all. We just went to college together, and I think he was just trying to be funny. And yeah, I've never even kissed Chatham. Ugh. But I'm sorry, that face.
You're
I'm
fine.
Sorry. I've never.
Like I said,
but
I'm
if he's
taking
watching, I've never even kissed Chatham. Okay.
Keep going.
So I can't remember why he gave it to me as a gift, but I got it as a gag gift. Now, second story. So that's first story.
So that really was. Remember the old joke how marijuana used to be the gateway drug?
Spencer's vibrators are the gateway.
Your first vibrator, a gag gift, is the gateway to more.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it came from somebody who I wasn't even attracted to. How weird is that? But I bet you he bought it from Spencer's because I think it was like glow in the dark or something.
Oh, I think he had a far more. That's even better.
I bet you that's how my parents found it. I bet you the garbage was glowing. Because you know
I
how
thought of that.
You know how when it'll say like, oh, glows in the dark, and the package will glow too. There'll be like that little. It's like the lettering on like the left hand side of the package, and it'll be like a neon green.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sure that's what it was.
Okay.
Oh my God, I will never ask. Never ever.
No, I think that conversation has passed.
Yes.
But I think Chatham wanted you to think of him every time you used it.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying.
No,
there's
no.
the face again. There it was. There it was.
And then maybe he was, but that's a very forward thing.
Well, forward. Well,
I mean,
all right. Let's just go.
You've never even bought one for a significant other. I'm getting one as I think a gag gift,
Let's
but maybe
go with
not.
a gag gift.
Okay. So the second thing was, now I have to put a disclaimer on this because my cousin was with me, but she was also in a very heavy party phase. Now she is completely and absolutely sober. So this was a different point of her life. So if she ever listens, I just want to put that disclaimer out there. So a different point of our life. We were much younger, and we were at a bar, and we met this guy who looked like he was out of a Halloween movie. Oh. And very decorated, lots of piercings, lots of like leather and studs and blah, blah, blah. And he said that he worked at like a sex toy place in Cleveland. And we were like, what? So he's like, yeah, come in and visit me. So her and I went and visited this guy. He gave us a tour, and he's like, and over here is the, Mr. Fister 5000 and over here. And so that was like that. I'll never forget. It was my cousin and our other really good friend, to remain nameless, just in case, because I don't want to get her in trouble either. So we all went together and giggling like little schoolgirls, like we had never really, I think, been exposed to that many toys of that level.
The wall of them.
Right. Like Spencer's is, you're right, the gateway to naughtiness.
Yeah, and I don't recall seeing it was a large section. It took me from, I'm like, oh, didn't know that was in stock here.
I also want to remind you guys, this was like right as YouTube YouTube wasn't even, I don't think YouTube was even a thing at this point. So seeing all the toys and whatever comes with like having an active sex life was not something that we saw on a regular basis.
Sure.
And we grew up very good Christian little girls. So we didn't, little girls.
Yeah, right. You know what they say about the preacher's daughter.
PKs are the worst. Right. And my cousin, who was with me, pastor's kid.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, there it is.
The worst. The worst. But then I don't think we ever saw that guy ever again. The guy who gave us the tour of the
right.
Yeah. So anyway, so Spencer's.
So wait, I want to. So the Spencer's, what you got? The gag gift one? Did you buy one from the Halloween movie guy?
Yeah, of course.
Oh wow!
I will say this without giving too much. Hated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not the guy. That's why when Pure Romance came around, do you remember that? That was like a thing for a while.
That was a thing for a minute.
When that came around, that actually was a really great business venture because then not only is it private, but it's somebody who has your body parts, who knows what you're dealing with, knows how you're feeling.
Let's unpack that for a second, shall we?
Sure.
Would you rather buy a device from a nameless person that has a wall of them, or from Heather who's throwing the party and brings over 12 dongs and a butt plug and knows you and you're surrounded by your friends? I mean, a large group of them because you have to get the people to come to the party.
Right.
Tupperware is one thing. The Pure Romance thing, although I know in theory there's parts that are good, there's parts that are bad, but when you sit down and really analyze it, you're like, well, I know the order forms are private. I mean, don't you get the order forms and you can fill out what you want as you want to go? So it's you're a bunch of giggly schoolgirls as they're whipping out the
and then you go into a room.
Yeah. So yes. I guess there is that, but
you go into a room.
That didn't sound weird.
She opens up a jacket and they're all like it's New York City with the watches.
Down, but it is, when you think about it, it's a little weird because going into a store, they're like, I mean, unless you're recognizable, if it was you today walking into a store, it's a real good chance they're going to be like, Allie's got to go. I got to come up with an excuse. I got to buy for another bachelorette party. And you have to almost open with it. Be like, I got to buy for another bachelorette party. But where's the Ultra Tickler 9000? But to literally sit there thinking about the Pure Romance thing, the people, they're right across from me. You're going to buy because you always are pressured into buying.
Yes, but I wanted to be pressured. And here's the difference.
That's what the tool's for.
I think here's the difference between us as people, you and I specifically, also probably a little bit of the sexes too, is that at the time those were so hot. I was in my mid-20s and going into like 30 and everything. And me and my girlfriends were very open with each other. And
you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you and Terry are not going to do that. You and Terry are not going to be like, hey, man. Like, you guys are very much no kissing and telling. I'm like, I'm trying to tell you everything.
Well, but it's different with guys. If there is a kissing and telling, it's the attempt for one guy to one up the other one. Like, man, she could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch. You never heard that before? It's a classic. It's a classic. So, suck a golf ball through a garden hose. You ever hear that one?
No, I've heard throw a hot dog down the hallway.
Oh, that's a little different. That's when she's been around a touch too much.
I need to text Zach and ask him if he's heard suck the chrome off of a trailer hitch.
Yeah, she could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch.
I gotta ask
suck a golf ball through a garden hose. These are classic lines, right?
I gotta ask him if he's heard these before.
How many euphemisms for a BJ can he come up with?
Gosh.
So the guys talk about it in that way, where it's more like, you're almost trying to impress your friends, or you hyper exaggerate, and it's more laughable, but in that sense of like, oh yeah, that's where you get the pat on the back. Oh yeah. Boy, good choice, and ladies there. Yeah, where the girls, you guys, first of all, I know where it starts because your mothers teach you can be naked anywhere.
Yes.
This is where it starts because if you have a daughter, and it's funny, I am not the person that can go piss in the woods, but you know what?
Oh, I can.
There are so many.
I can poop in the woods.
Now let me ask you the question of your mom and your dad, who would be more likely to piss in the woods with you?
Oh, my mom.
There's the point. So
she's the one that told me to when we were, multiple times, but one that I specifically remember, my Aunt Melda had a pool and it was like set back on her property.
Yep.
So you didn't want to go all the way to her house, and she had these woods by her house.
Yep.
And so my mom,
I can see it in my head.
Yes. And my mom was like, oh, we'll just go over there and go pee in the woods. I'm like, oh, Mom.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And it was the same with my friend Dina growing up. She also had a pool. And so my mom was like, go behind the pool and just pee next to the pool.
Go right behind it.
Couldn't believe that. And you want to know what? The other thing too, my mom was like, yeah, just leave your bottoms on. It's no problem. I think she eventually kind of taught me, different ways to go about it.
I would hope so. Other than a swimsuit, that's going to be a soggy hike. There's... But back to my point. Yeah, no doubt. Who needs a shower now? Back to my point. It is taught for the women at a young age. You can freely have a level of nudity. You then grow into the point where you're in a dorm room, you're changing in front of your dorm mate, and she doesn't give a shit, So these things are bred into the female genome, whereas guys, it's really not as much. Some guys have, a little more liberal approach to peeing anywhere, but for the most part, we got to be real drunk and peeing on the side of a building because we can't walk anywhere else. That's the guy version of peeing outside.
I want to come back to that in a second.
So for you, it's bred in early in life about this. And then you said you share about women share a lot, I think, of the more intimate details, at least from the things you've told me.
Yes.
Not about your intimate sex life, about the conversations you have with your girlfriends. Mm-hmm. Things like, oh, I didn't know that would hurt that way. And then you exchange things like, well, lay on your side, and whatever the case may be. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Stop it.
Well, come on. You guys have much more in-depth conversations, whereas for guys, it's a lot more of, how do I impress Terry? But you know what? It's always in a joking fashion. The conversation never comes up, well, listen, while it's halftime here at the Bills game, let me tell you about but you guys get into the gory details and share things, and it really is a wild separation of sexes.
Okay, so I have so much to say about this. Now, I know not everyone's like this. I have friends who they won't be as naked in front of me as I'll be with them. And I get that because it's like a learned behavior from when you're younger.
That's what I'm saying.
It's to the point where I'm at the gym I'm at now, they have some stalls for bathrooms and they have showers, but there's really it's pretty open. But I find myself, I'm just changing into my gym clothes. I mean, tits looking forward. As soon as somebody walks in, I'm like, hey, what up?
How is you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, this is what we're going to do. So because I don't know why, I feel like I don't need to hide in the bathroom, but not everybody's like that, because I do have one girlfriend. Every time I'm with her, she's always like moving over here. I'm like, okay. I mean,
there are some people that are more private.
Yes, yeah. Totally okay.
But on a grand scheme, the women are much more open about their sexuality to their girlfriends, and most of the time in changing or whatever. I'm talking the large numbers.
Yes, and I think it's funny too, because I had thought that you and Gavin, I would think that you would teach him how to pee outside. But never.
He knows how to pee outside. There are times he has peed in the dog run, and I'm like, why did you pee in the dog run? It's dark, and he's like, well, I had to go, and I had the dogs outside. Ginger and Finn had to go, so I'm like, well,
me too.
You too? All right.
So what I think. I want to know. Did you teach him that?
No.
You've never taught him how to pee outside?
No, Finn did. He's the boy.
I don't know. I'm going to have to ask this to my brother. I don't know if my dad ever taught my brother how to pee outside. And I've never been anywhere where my dad was like, oh, I'm going to go over here and pee outside.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever.
No, I don't remember my dad ever peeing outside either.
I don't know if it's a generational thing or if my dad's super modest or what it is. But you're right. It was not taught by my dad at all.
No, I don't. I didn't really have a problem that he peed in the dog run. Like I said, it's dark out, and it's nobody's gonna see anything except the dogs.
I was hiking with Junior a couple weeks ago, and he peed. I did too.
Did you pee on top of his to mark the territory?
But that's a true story. I got to the very top of the hill, and I'm like looking around. Anybody? I really got to pee, and I did.
No
fear.
Okay,
now one other thing too about the shaky toy thing. It's funny because I loved those parties, because I loved that we were like all giggling and kind of like experiencing that at the same time. But as you get older, the road starts to get a fork in it, because once you get to like really serious relationship territory, for instance, our friends Danielle and TJ are married. Danielle and I do not talk about their life like that, like ever. I don't know anything.
Yeah, because they're around. I don't know if it's because they're around too much or because you really know that other person, and then that's almost a breach in their privacy.
And that's the same. Like I have other girlfriends too. Like my one other girlfriend, same thing. I went to Terrifier with her husband. And her and I do not talk about
you because you know the husband too much. Yeah. So it works when you're out hoeing it up years, but not, not when they're really with somebody.
And I'm finding that I definitely talk about that less and less, especially because like Zach's kind of the end of the road. So once you get to the end of the road guy, you start
end of the road guy.
Yeah, right.
It may not be the best sounding compliment, but it works.
Right. But I do have two exceptions though. I have two girlfriends. We have our group chat. It's the thruple group chat. We call ourselves Trash for Life, and we absolutely talk some trash in there, and we talk about whoever we're with and whatnot, and there's no limits.
Okay, so you do have there's the little group, but I understand on the grand scale. There's a lot you don't.
I'm not hanging out with either of their significant others.
There's the
by
difference.
Myself.
There's
Never.
Okay. You're not as close to them as you are to some people. The ones you're really close to, I don't think you do it anymore.
Well, with the husbands, right, exactly. Yeah, I'm really close to all of these females, very close to all of them in different, unique ways. But yeah, the husbands.
If you're very close to them too, like in the case of your friend Danielle, well, our friend too. I mean, I shouldn't just say yours. I love Danielle too. She's great.
But I work with her husband.
Well, exactly. I mean, even though on a social level, and it's the weirdest thing, maybe it's this industry, we've known them for so many years before they got married, and and can say the worst things to each other because that's also the style people we all are when we're together. But yeah, that's the limit. You just don't go there.
Yeah. Hold on. Zach texted me back about the coyote pee.
Yes.
Let's see. Wait, what does this mean? Because I asked, what is it like? Why does he use it? What does it do?
Yeah. Well, what does it say?
I get what he's saying now. Because I said about it being in our cabinet. So I said, what does it do? He goes, hopefully just sits there unless it's haunted. Meaning like that.
But not really the answer we needed.
No, he has no clue what we're talking about, so he doesn't know what he's supposed to be answering.
Maybe you should have said, "What's it used for?"
Okay, hold on a second. I don't know. I don't know if we're.
Well, you said you had another question for me, so if we have to stall for a minute, we know he's near his phone. He might be able to get back to you quick.
I just texted it. I don't remember my other thing.
Oh, you had another question.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, no. Damn. I don't even know how to trigger a memory.
We were talking about your parents, like who teaches you to be naked, to pee outside.
Well, we definitely came to that conclusion. That makes total sense now.
I think more so the question was like, do you and Terry talk like that? But I didn't think that you guys did.
No, I mean, like I said, it's more...
Okay,
it's
not a question. It was going to be my bit of advice for you.
Oh, I'll take anything you have.
So you had said that you had never purchased an intimate product like that before.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, you guys can go together. Or another suggestion, this is a fun little game, and I highly suggest this for anybody who's listening, is go to a website where they sell those things. It doesn't matter. You can use Adam or Eve, or they're not endorsing us. So, go to one of those websites.
Whatever.
Yeah. And... you know how they'll have like different pages or letters that coincide with those items?
Nope.
Okay, well, they do. So what you need to do is you need to tell 6059 to pick a letter or a number or whatever it is. And whatever she picks, that's the one you buy. And then it's
you mean like on page J, item 12?
Mm-hmm. And
now I got it.
And then it's a surprise and it's a gift and it's 2 for the price of 1. And it just makes it super fun.
All right, I can see. I mean, that's a neat way to do that.
You can also do that with like lingerie and other things. Even if you want to go to a website where things are a bit cheaper, maybe you want to go to like Shein and you want to get lingerie.
Is this going to become a cheap joke? Scott can't buy the name brand. He's got to go buy the Spencer's brand vibrator.
Not at all. What I'm saying is like maybe you want to buy like a couple pieces of lingerie as like a surprise treat. Then have her do the same thing. And then buy a couple pieces, and then so what? it's a surprise to her. And I think that makes it super fun.
I like the way you're doing that. That is a better way to do it than just saying, well, I don't know. There is something fun, wouldn't there be, of going to the store with the significant other?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You can do that too. I was just offering another alternative.
Yeah. No, I like that one.
I just want to let you know, he never got back to me. I don't know. We got coyote urine on our cabinet. Not sure why.
Maybe
I
next
just know
week.
It looks like my contact solution bottle.
Don't mix it up.
Right. So hopefully I never have coyote pee in my eyeball.
Yeah, please don't. All right. Well, on that note, maybe we'll get an answer next week. Don't forget you can check out the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. Every Tuesday, a new one is released at 11 a.m. pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Spotify, iHeart. Odyssey.
All over.
Yeah, all over.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And like, share, and comment if you would, too, on YouTube.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.